If you think a couple of compliments and an exaggerated smile are enough to attract a woman, you're wasting your time. It's not what you say to impress her, it's the way you speak, the weight of your words, and the attitude that supports them. Beautiful phrases without character behind them are like smoke. They disappear quickly and leave a void that reveals insecurity. The first thing you need to understand is that women are not looking for a man who acts as if he's auditioning to please them. What truly attracts them is authenticity, calmness, firmness in the voice, and confidence in the gaze. It's not about repeating scripts. It's about showing that you know who you are and that you don't need approval to express yourself. Many men fail because they talk too much. They strive to seem interesting and end up projecting anxiety and dependence. They believe that showing interest means always being available, and all they achieve is losing value. Others hide their insecurities behind forced jokes, constant compliments, or uncomfortable silence. All of this is transparent and destroys the connection. This video is for men who are tired of pretending, who understand that the strength of a message is not in the volume or the quantity, but in the right moment and the confidence with which it is said. From now on, you're going to stop chasing and start communicating with the weight of a man who knows his worth. That's what generates respect, interest, and real attraction. 1. Speak with truth, not with flattery. Telling a woman what you think she wants to hear is the quickest way to show that you have nothing solid to offer. Many men believe that flattery is a shortcut, but in reality it's a trap. Most of them sound empty because they do not come from sincere observation, but from a desperate desire to please. When every word that comes out of your mouth seems like an attempt to win her approval, you lose credibility and automatically lose respect. Truth carries a weight that flattery cannot mimic. An honest comment, even a simple one, generates more impact than 100 sweet phrases thrown senselessly. If you say, "There's something about the way you speak that catches attention," and you say it because you really noticed it, that arouses curiosity and respect. On the other hand, repeating phrases like "you're the most beautiful" or "no one is like you" only makes you look like just another one trying to seduce without real effort. Speaking with truth does not mean being cruel or rude. It means observing, recognizing what you really see, and expressing it calmly. A woman notices when you really listen to her, and when what you say is a reflection of what you perceive, not a speech put together to get something in return. Authenticity does not always sound perfect, but it is always more attractive because it conveys trust. Men who rely on flattery to get attention are often the same ones who get frustrated when they do not get the expected response. That's because their words have no roots. They do not come from a personal conviction. Stoicism teaches that you should control your need for approval. As long as you seek to please, you will be a prisoner of others' reactions. Instead, when you speak with truth, you do not expect a reward. You just say what is real, and that honesty frees you. Also, superficial compliments are easy to forget. A sincere phrase, even if brief, remains etched because it reveals that you were present in the moment. It's the difference between saying "what a nice dress" and saying "that color looks amazing on you" because it highlights the strength of your gaze. The second phrase is not a trick. It's a genuine reflection of what you noticed, and that's why it connects. Speaking with truth also requires courage. Often it means saying nothing when you have nothing real to contribute. Silence, when used with intention, shows more security than filling the air with empty phrases. The man who does not feel the need to impress with words shows control over himself, and that attracts much more than any repetitive compliment. Stop thinking that women fall in love with flattery. They are attracted to those who speak to them as a human being, not as a trophy. Attraction arises when they perceive that you are not trying to sell them an image, but to share your perspective without unnecessary embellishments. From today, question everything you say. Ask yourself if you are saying it because you feel it or because you are trying to please. If it's the latter, stay silent. If it's the former, say it firmly and without exaggeration. A man who speaks with truth does not need to embellish his words. His authenticity becomes his greatest introduction. 2. Listen to what she doesn't say. Most men believe that listening is to remain silent while the other person speaks. But that's just the surface. Truly listening is reading what is not said, noticing gestures, silences, pauses that carry more meaning than words. That's where authentic connection is born. If you only pay attention to the obvious, you will never know the inner world of the woman in front of you. Imagine a woman tells you, "I'm fine," but she looks down and plays with her hands. If you take her words literally, you'll think everything is in order and change the subject. If you learn to listen to what she doesn't say, you'll understand that her body language contradicts her words. That sensitivity to notice what others ignore is what makes the difference between an ordinary man and one who truly connects. The mistake of many is to be so worried about what to say next that they stop observing. The ego gets in the conversation. They are more attentive to sounding interesting than understanding who they have in front of them. This destroys the opportunity to build trust, because no one feels valued when they perceive that the other person is just waiting for their turn to speak. Stoicism teaches that you must learn to silence your mind to perceive the present. Listening to what she doesn't say requires that inner mastery. It means letting go of the anxiety to respond. Stop trying to have the perfect phrase and instead focus on understanding what she is really conveying. That full attention makes the other person feel seen, and that feeling is deeply attractive. It's not about playing mind reader or analyzing every gesture as if you were a detective. It's about being present and allowing yourself to notice the details. Sometimes the tone of voice reveals more than words. Sometimes the choice of a single phrase exposes her fears or hopes. Listening to what she doesn't say is genuinely being interested in her world, not finding a weak point to impress her. For example, if she says she's tired of parties but smiles when talking about her childhood in the countryside, there's something worth exploring there. Instead of responding with a superficial comment, you could say, "It seems like you enjoy quiet places more than the noise of parties, right?" Those kinds of observations show her that you pay attention and that you don't just react with automatic responses. The man who knows how to listen deeply projects calm and security because he shows that he doesn't need to fill the silence to feel comfortable. That attitude inspires trust and creates a safe space where the woman can show herself as she is. In a world full of distractions and people who speak without thinking, stumbling upon someone who truly listens is almost irresistible. Listening to what she doesn't say also means respecting her pauses. Don't try to force her to speak or pressure her to trust you immediately. Patience is key for the connection to grow naturally. Anyone who is desperate for quick answers transmits insecurity and lack of respect for the communication process. If you want to amaze, don't do it with long speeches or stories about yourself. Amaze her with your ability to understand what she didn't say, to notice the details that others overlook, to ask questions that reveal that you were paying attention. That's what separates an ordinary man from one who leaves a mark. 3. Be authentic, don't follow scripts. Nothing kills attraction faster than a man who seems to be playing a role. Often without realizing it, men become actors in their own lives. They mimic phrases they read on the internet, gestures they saw in a movie, or advice from someone who promised them they would be irresistible. All they achieve is to convey falsehood. Women notice this disconnect instantly because the energy of someone pretending always feels forced. Being authentic does not mean saying everything you think without a filter or falling into rudeness. It means having the courage to show yourself as you are, with your strengths and also with the imperfections that make you human. Stoicism teaches that the man who knows himself does not need to disguise himself to be liked. He understands that his value does not depend on pleasing everyone, but on being consistent with what he believes and what he does. Many think that by playing a character they will project more security, but the opposite happens. They end up feeling insecure because they are afraid that they will be discovered not to be what they appear. This anxiety is noticeable in the look, in the gestures, and in the way they speak. Authenticity, on the other hand, is liberating because there is nothing to hide or sustain. One of the reasons why so many men fail in relationships is because they follow rigid rules about what works with women. They learn phrases, strategies, and even response times to seem interesting. This mindset is a mistake. Human relationships are not predictable equations. True connection arises when you dare to let your personality flow without filters. Think about it. What has more impact? Someone who repeats a rehearsed phrase to you, or someone who allows themselves to react genuinely to what happens in the moment? People remember authentic conversations because they do not feel like a performance, but like a real exchange. This naturalness generates trust, and trust is the ground where attraction grows. Being authentic also implies accepting that not everyone will connect with you, and that's okay. The man who is desperate to please everyone ends up losing his essence. When you try to be what you think others want to see, you lose the opportunity to attract those who value what you really are. That's the paradox. The more you try to impress, the less interesting you become. The more you stay true to yourself, the more magnetic you become to the right people. A clear example: if you don't enjoy parties, don't pretend you do just to seem fun. If something bothers you, express it respectfully instead of keeping quiet to avoid conflict. If you are passionate about a topic, talk about it enthusiastically, even if it is not popular. This honesty in your way of acting and speaking conveys character, and character is infinitely more attractive than any memorized script. Authenticity is not an excuse for indifference or lack of empathy. It's about showing your true voice without the constant fear of being judged. An authentic man listens, observes, and responds from his truth, not from what he thinks he should say to seem interesting. When you are genuine, your presence communicates a silent message. You are not competing for attention. You are sharing who you are. This difference is powerful because it eliminates the tension of conquest and replaces it with a sincere connection. 4. Value her essence, not her appearance. The biggest mistake many men make is reducing a woman to what their eyes see. A compliment about her body or face may flatter her for a moment, but it will never create a deep bond. Appearance is the first thing that catches the eye, but it is also the first thing that loses importance when you are looking for something authentic. If your interest stays on the surface, the connection becomes fragile, and sooner or later it crumbles. Valuing her essence is looking beyond the obvious. It means being interested in what she thinks, how she sees the world, what moves her and gives meaning to her life. It's recognizing that behind her external beauty there is a story, a character, scars, dreams, and fears that make her unique. When a woman feels that you see her as a complete human being and not just a pretty face, that's where true attraction arises. The problem is that many men are not prepared to go deeper because they are used to seeking immediate gratification. They believe that a compliment about the physical is enough to generate interest, but it only shows that they have nothing else to offer. The truth is that most women are used to receiving comments about their appearance, and far from impressing, it makes them indifferent. What sets a man apart is not repeating what everyone says, but noticing what almost no one sees. For example, instead of saying, "You have beautiful eyes," you could observe how she lights up when she talks about something she is passionate about and comment on it. "I like how your eyes light up when you talk about what matters to you." That kind of comment goes beyond the superficial. It shows attention, respect, and a genuine interest in what she feels. Stoicism teaches to focus on what has true value, and in relationships, the true value is in character, not in the ephemeral. If you base your interest solely on the external, sooner or later you will find yourself unsatisfied, because appearance does not sustain a conversation. does not console in a bad moment, does not share values or goals. Valuing her essence also means respecting her boundaries, recognizing her strengths, and not belittling her vulnerabilities. It is understanding that the connection is not built from perfection, but from authenticity. That deep look generates a type of attraction that does not depend on age, fashion, or the inevitable physical changes over time. The man who only knows how to comment on external beauty shows superficiality and lack of vision. On the other hand, the man who recognizes the essence conveys maturity, and that maturity has a special magnetism because it is not common. A woman feels truly valued when she perceives that her presence matters more than her image, when she feels she can be herself without having to impress. It should also be stated clearly, valuing her essence does not mean idealizing her or putting her on a pedestal. It means accepting her as she is, with her virtues and defects, and treating her with respect. That kind of attitude generates a stronger bond than any appearance, because it is based on something real, not illusions. If you want to stand out, stop competing for who throws the best compliment about her physique and start recognizing what really makes her special: her vision, her humor, her way of facing challenges. When you do this, you not only capture her attention, but you awaken admiration. And admiration is a much more solid foundation for any relationship. 5. Connection requires patience. One of the biggest mistakes men make today is to believe that genuine attraction happens instantly, as if a few correct phrases were enough to win someone over. This rushed mentality destroys any chance of building something real. Genuine connection is like lighting a slow fire. It requires time, constant attention, and the right pace to grow without extinguishing or burning too quickly. When you try to speed up the process, all you do is show anxiety and neediness, two signals that immediately repel. A woman can tell when someone is desperate for attention, and that urgency conveys insecurity. Stoicism teaches that valuable things are not forced. They are cultivated calmly, because self-control is what gives strength to each step. Patience does not mean indifference or passivity. It means respecting the time it takes to truly get to know each other. It's understanding that you can't expect emotional intimacy after a few superficial conversations. Each bond needs space to develop, and rushing it is like picking a flower before it opens its petals. You destroy what you try to admire. Many men miss opportunities because they confuse interest with insistence. They believe that to keep attention alive, they must send constant messages, seek encounters without pause, or pressure for quick responses. What they don't see is that this insistence kills the mystery and smothers the interest. True attraction stays alive when there is space to breathe, when the silence between one message and another generates anticipation, not anxiety. Being patient also means accepting that not everything will depend on you. Maybe she needs time to trust, to open up, or to show her true character. Wanting to speed up that process only shows that you are looking for immediate results, not a real connection. Patience conveys maturity because it reveals that you do not depend on the pace of others to feel secure. The man who masters the art of waiting projects calm and confidence, two qualities that are irresistible because they are scarce. In a world where almost everyone is running after quick answers, meeting someone who is not desperate is refreshing and magnetic. It's not about playing hard to get, but about showing that you are not ruled by impatience. Imagine you are getting to know someone who has just come out of a complicated relationship. Forcing deep conversations too soon would be counterproductive. But if you respect her time, if you know when to be silent and when to be present without demanding anything, you show her that you are different, someone who knows how to accompany without pressuring. This creates a type of trust that cannot be faked. Patience also protects from impulsive mistakes. When you give space to the process, you think before you act, you choose the right words, and you avoid unnecessary gestures that could be misinterpreted. Hurry, on the other hand, leads to out-of-place comments, rushed confessions, and behaviors that later generate regret. If you are truly seeking a genuine connection, start valuing time as an ally. Don't expect every conversation to yield immediate results or every gesture to be reciprocated instantly. Allow things to flow, leave room for silence. Learn to enjoy the process instead of obsessing over the result. 6. Show your human side. The mistaken idea that a man should appear invulnerable is the reason why many end up seeming distant and cold. That mask of constant hardness does not inspire respect. It only generates distrust. Nobody is attracted to someone who seems to have no emotions. Showing your human side is not weakness. It is a sign of emotional strength, because it shows that you are not afraid to be seen as you are. The problem is that too many men confuse vulnerability with fragility. They think that admitting that something hurts them, that they care, or that they are worried makes them less masculine, when in reality, it reveals a level of maturity that few people possess. Being able to share emotions in balance, without drama or exaggerations, projects authenticity and confidence. Stoicism does not teach to repress emotions, but to understand them and not to be controlled by them. Showing your human side means recognizing that emotions exist, expressing them calmly, and using them to connect. It's being able to say, "That affected me, but I'm working on it," instead of pretending that nothing touches you. That honesty has a profound impact because it breaks the artificial barrier that so many raise. Many women feel distant from men who always seem to have everything under control, as if nothing could touch them. What really creates closeness is seeing that behind the confidence, there is also someone who feels, who laughs, who sometimes has doubts, but keeps going. That combination of strength and humanity is hard to find, so it is so attractive. It's not about telling your whole life story or turning every conversation into a confession. It's about choosing the right moments to show that you have emotions and that you are not ashamed of them. For example, sharing an anecdote about a failure that taught you something important or speaking honestly about what you value in a relationship can be much more powerful than trying to boast achievements. Showing your human side also means genuinely caring about others, not just for what they can offer you. When you ask with real curiosity, when you listen attentively, when you respond with empathy instead of indifference, you convey that you are not locked in your own ego. The man who manages to balance firmness with humanity projects a solid but close presence. He doesn't need to prove superiority or hide behind a wall of silence. That kind of man stands out because he inspires trust and respect at the same time. He knows when to be strong and when to be open. From now on, stop thinking that coldness makes you more interesting. The real attraction arises when you show that you are strong but also human, and that you are not afraid to be seen as you are. That is the kind of connection that words cannot describe because it is felt immediately. 7. Don't always be available. Nothing diminishes your appeal more than giving the impression that you have no life outside of your conversation with her. Being always available is not a sign of genuine interest, but of emotional dependence, and dependence is never attractive. When you seem to be waiting for every message, every call, every moment to appear, you convey that your time is worthless. The man who knows how to prioritize his life projects a type of respect that needs no explanation. It's not that he ignores, it's not that he plays hard to get, it's that he has goals, responsibilities, personal spaces, and he doesn't sacrifice them for the urgency of attracting someone's attention. That independence creates a special magnetism because it makes clear that you're not seeking constant validation. The mistake of many is to believe that constant attention is a proof of affection, when in reality, it can become suffocating. Genuine interest doesn't need constant presence. It needs quality in every interaction. Saying no to a plan or delaying a response because you're busy doesn't make you rude. It makes you real, someone who prioritizes his time and therefore makes it more valuable. Stoicism teaches that the most important things you own are your time and your energy. Giving both without limits just to please is a way of losing respect for yourself. A man who invests all his space in someone else shows that he has no greater purpose than to please, and that attitude is one of the biggest causes of disinterest. It's not about using absence as manipulation, but about living a full life that doesn't revolve around another person. Dedicating time to your work, to your passions, to your physical and mental well-being makes you naturally interesting. A person who only talks about what they do to please is predictable and lacks depth. For example, if you constantly interrupt your routines to respond to every message instantly, you project anxiety. On the other hand, if you respond calmly when you can, and you do it with quality and attention, you demonstrate control and balance. The patience with which you manage your availability communicates much more about your character than any phrase you say. Attraction grows when there is space for mystery and for both to breathe. Being always present eliminates that dynamic. The other person stops being curious because they already know you'll always be there. Instead, when you have clear boundaries, you inspire respect and keep interest alive. From today, stop thinking that your constant presence is synonymous with affection. Learn to take care of your time, to prioritize what builds you, and to offer your attention as something valuable, not as something that is left over. That is the difference between chasing someone and becoming someone worthy of being sought. 8. Spark curiosity. Don't spill it all. Revealing every detail about yourself from the get-go kills the mystery and takes away the thrill of discovery from the conversation. Curiosity is one of the most powerful forces in attraction, and it's lost when you feel the need to explain everything, to impress or seek approval. Those who leave room for discovery become more interesting effortlessly. Most men make the mistake of using conversations as a showcase of achievements. They tell their most outstanding stories, talk about what they have, their plans and experiences, thinking that this way they arouse admiration. But all they achieve is to saturate and leave nothing else to explore. Attraction is not built with endless speeches, but with the feeling that there is still more to know. Sparking curiosity does not mean inventing secrets or playing manipulation games. It means sharing just enough naturally and saving for later what deserves to be told over time. When you speak in moderation, you give the opportunity for interest to grow and the other person to want to continue discovering who you are. Stoicism teaches to control impulses, and here, the impulse you must master is the one to want to demonstrate value immediately. You don't need to convince anyone with excessive words. The real strength lies in knowing how to silence what doesn't need to be said. This discipline generates an air of security, because only those who are at peace with who they are can afford not to tell everything. A clear example: if in the first conversation you share all your achievements, your travels, your problems, and even your future plans, you take away from the relationship the opportunity to grow gradually. On the other hand, if you share an interesting anecdote and let the others appear at the right time, you keep the attention alive without seeming like you're trying to impress. Curiosity arises when they perceive that behind each word there are more layers to discover, that you're not using your story as currency to buy interest. This not only makes you more attractive, it also protects you. By not exposing everything at once, you give yourself space to observe if the other person really deserves to know more about you. Speaking less and with intention does not mean being cold or distant. It means carefully choosing what you share. This attitude demonstrates emotional intelligence and a type of self-control that is scarce. The curiosity you arouse does not come from tricks, but from your ability to maintain some mystery while still being accessible and authentic. From today, stop trying to fill every silence with stories about yourself. Learn to listen more and to dose what you share. Attraction is not in exposing everything, but in allowing time to reveal each part of you, creating a story that is discovered step by step and not in a single conversation. 9. Speak with confidence, not with ego. The tone in which you speak says much more than the words you choose. You can have the best argument, but if you express it with insecurity, it will lose strength. You can also be right, but if you say it with arrogance, you will only arouse rejection. The real attraction is not in imposing your voice or dominating the conversation, but in conveying serenity and conviction in every word you utter. Speaking with confidence means that you trust what you say because you think it and feel it, not because you are trying to convince or impress. That confidence projects calmness and character. People perceive it without you having to announce it. A confident man does not need to raise his voice to be heard or use complicated words to sound intelligent. The strength lies in the firmness and clarity with which he communicates. Ego, on the other hand, is noise. It is noticeable when someone speaks to show that they know more, to impress or to win the discussion. That kind of attitude pushes people away because it conveys fragility disguised as pride. Those who speak with ego often interrupt, become impatient, and make everything revolve around them. Genuine confidence is distinguished because it allows listening, does not need to compete or seek approval. Stoicism teaches that self-control is the basis of true strength. Controlling your language, your tone, and your presence when speaking is a demonstration of internal power. Confidence is not shouting, "I am right." It is being able to say what you think with respect, without hesitating or reacting to every provocation. That calm communicates more than any long argument. Speaking with confidence also means accepting when you do not know something. Saying, "I don't know, but I can find out," projects more maturity than trying to invent answers. Honesty, accompanied by serenity, builds credibility and respect. On the contrary, the ego feels threatened when admitting limits and ends up exposing weaknesses. Think of someone who does not need to raise their voice to be heard. They speak slowly, with clear phrases, maintain eye contact, and take pauses. That person inspires trust because they do not depend on adornments to have an impact. That is the energy you should cultivate if you seek to attract genuinely, that each word sounds like truth and balance, not competition. Avoid comparisons and phrases that seek to impress. If you share an experience, do it to contribute something, not to boast. If you give a compliment, let it be sincere and without expecting anything in return. Confidence is not in highlighting what you have, but in reflecting who you are. From today, analyze your way of expressing yourself. Lower the tone, eliminate the fillers that reveal nervousness, speak clearly and without haste. Attraction does not come from how strong you sound, but from the emotional stability you transmit with your voice. That is the difference between a man who inspires respect and one who only seeks to be admired. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. If you watched the whole thing, comment, "I am Stoic," as our secret signal to know that you're a true student of Stoicism. Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like if you enjoyed it. See you in the next video, and remember, keep cultivating your Stoic mind.